God's vow related to the declaration of the elevation of heaven from Indonesia. God's vow. In the name of the most holiness of heaven and my kingdom of Eden, I take a vow that I have stipulated the annulment of the placement of heaven and my kingdom in the world, that is in Jakarta, Indonesia. Thus I will soon elevate the messengers of Eden to abide in my heaven in the outer space. As for my heaven in Indonesia, I have been declaring it for so long, and there has not been any positive response from the government and the people of Indonesia. However, there is no resound of defense upon my declaration from any party at all. Thus, I generally could assume that my heaven and kingdom has been totally rejected from Indonesia, and appropriately, the word institutions and religious institutions in the world have also sit silent after the resound of persecution upon Eden was widely covered in the mass media. In this current globalization era, no such news that is not instantly becomes worldwide. Thus I judge that the world public and religious institutions in the world disregard the existence of my heaven that I have established in this world. Supposedly, if there is a community in this world whom seriously declares that they are receiving my revelations, and in the broadness of my revelations received by the community of Eden through my messenger Leah Eden, there is my declaration related to heaven of Eden, that I descend down in Jakarta, Indonesia. And as it is seen that the community of Eden is serious regarding their belief, thus appropriately the religious scholars and institutions are enthusiastic to study the truth about the statements of the messengers of Eden. Thus the resound of the persecution upon Eden, supposedly there is a party who defends Eden seriously. Just the death of human rights figure Munir had become the issue that was being concerned by the human rights public and the world. Is the kingdom of Eden and heaven of Eden that I acknowledge as derived from me is not important enough to be seriously responded? Therefore, I conclude that my heaven is not respected by this world, so I will soon elevate it to the sky. If such is the condition, be my heaven untouchable, and be humankind able not to mistreat it any longer. Declaration upon my kingdom and heaven in Indonesia is very important for the entire human beings in this world. And certainly it is an infinite blessing for the Indonesian people when I have declared that heaven of Eden and kingdom of Eden are domiciled in Jakarta, Indonesia. My statement is not only coldly welcomed, furthermore, people of this nation in throng refuse it. And then there happened the operation and trial and adjudication upon Eden. However, I still give them some time so they all would realize their mistakes and will to repent. However, when my curse has been obviously tasted but the whole Indonesian people, which has made them feel suffocated in bearing all the hardships, turmoils, and disasters. But still there is no indication that they would realize their defiance upon me. So for what reason I still keep the existence of my heaven and kingdom in this country? Thus I will live it away from this earth, and the messengers of Eden I shall elevate to the sky to reside in my heaven, which is the second one for them. As I explain from the Holy Quran, Ar-Rahman verse 62.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa min dunihima jannatan Sadaqallahul azim.
The Holy Quran, chapter Ar-Rahman, verse 62. And below them both, in excellence, are two other gardens. Regarding those two heavens, that is the heaven I once have established in this world, which I have already proven it by its existence in Jakarta, Indonesia. And the second heaven is the heaven I shall descend down from the sky. That is an outer spaceship I intend to use to evacuate the holy people from this earth that is being besieged by the doomsday. The third heaven is the new abode on a new earth, which is the destiny of the evacuation from this earth. Meanwhile, the other heaven is in the sun. Actually, the center of the light of the universe is the angelic axis. And angels are light creatures that brighten the universe and lighten the spirituality of human beings. Thus, it is my explanation regarding the existence of the two heavens and the following two other heavens. Thus now, I am going to prove the existence of my second heaven for humankind in the end times, after I elevate my heaven of Eden from Indonesia. And afterwards, I began to apply the day of my power therein, that is, from my second heaven. Therefore, there is no authority in this world that could reach my second heaven before they are holy. And there will not be any rejection upon the day of my court of justice and the stipulation of sanctification for the entire humankind in this world. And nothing is able to intervene my policies and my stipulations, and the most holiness of my heaven could be respected. And so humankind will not be postponed to be sanctified by us, as there will not be any postponement to face the doomsday. I teach and purify the messengers of Eden all this time for the sake of human being to be able to recognize heaven purification that I apply. And my purification is seen by Indonesian people, and my heaven purification becomes real for them. At least the testimony of Indonesian people is represented by the community surrounding the domicile of my heaven, and in the community inside the prisons who saw the purification of the messengers of Eden when they were imprisoned, and the testimony of Indonesian people upon the purification of heaven that I implement for the messengers of Eden in this country could be valued as the testimony for the world. That testimony has shown that I have ever descended down my heaven in the world and has succeeded in purifying the messengers of Eden in accordance with the criteria of heaven. If I then elevate my heaven to the sky, it is not only to express my annoyance upon Indonesia, who is grateful not, whereas it has been opposed by my heaven and kingdom and the archangel Gabriel that I sent. However, I also would like to enact my court of justice for the world through my second heaven. Domination of crime in the world has gone beyond the limits. Many humans will change nature to be devils and vice versa. In order to balance it, the existence of angels in the world of human, I should increase through the birth of babies who possess the angel's gene. Thus, there will be born babies with pure genetic, of which is the angel's gene, and these children will be found as having superior intelligence, as well as their noticeable good characters. And they are known as the stars and indigo children. They are the descendants of angels, who will be the balance of the torrential flow of the changing spirit of humans to be devils. The equilibrium amongst my creatures should be able to rebalance through the birth of those star children, and what is more phenomenal is through the purification of my heaven. And when the execution of my court of justice to the world should be conducted thoroughly, thus heaven of Eden I facilitate with a satellite that could make me possible to control my court of justice for the whole nations in the world. Therefore, the sanctification of nations is to prevail massively the possibility of the changing nature of human to be an angel. Thus, equilibrium amongst all my creatures will be back to balance. Such is that I always keep the balance of the universe and the quota amongst all my creatures. Therefore, I take a vow that I am about to elevate my heaven, that I have ever declared its existence in this world, and I prepare the messengers of Eden to be raptured to my second heaven in the outer space. And they will dwell the space in the outer space ship of Eden, which is the vastest and very spacious to accommodate all nations that have succeeded in being sanctified by me through the execution of my court of justice in the world. Thus at this time, the messengers of Eden are preparing their move to the second heaven of Eden. As for all the writings of my words done by the messengers of Eden at this time, it is meant to be the legacy of Eden's teaching, which I intended to become the Holy Book of Eden, a holy book for all adherents, whom will to believe in the unification of all religions. One step further from it is my heaven that I elevate from this earth that exactly will ensure Eden to be acknowledged by the world. However, at the time I elevate the messengers of Eden to leave this earth, Jakarta will undergo a severe earthquake, and that occurrence will be historicized as the occurrence of elevation of heaven from this earth.